Okay, my name's Carlton Bright. I'm a videographer here in New York City. I call myself a stereo optical composer. I'm finding with the digital world, the digital video, when you put work together, it flows differently than a narrative story does. And it feels much more like dance or music with the digital imagery. In fact, Vanessa's work is digital, and it's just a different animal from our photographs, from the dyes and the shutters and the cameras of another era. Anyway, I want to thank VSC and StereoSite, and I'm honored to be on this, by the way. This is wonderful. I have 3 different series, anthropological, artistic, and this is the Monumental Art Installation piece. The reason I started this back in 2005, this is, everybody can hear this? Okay, thanks. Back in 2005, the Gates happened in New York City in the park, and it was by Christo and Jean-Claude, and it was an incredible phenomena. It wasn't just an installation, and human beings were interacting with it. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing to capture this in stereo, in 3D? Because in 2D, you see it, but you don't experience the geographical presence and the gravity of what was happening, and also the human beings interfacing with it. That's such an important aspect of it. Just going down my notes here. So the other thing was I wanted to be unobtrusive, because when you start shooting with a camera and people are noticing it, you kind of ruin the actual piece, because they're not interacting the way it was designed. And I think that large monumental artworks are like landmarks in your life, just like a great movie or a great book or a great piece of music. And to be able to capture this rather than have it disappear because they're only put up for a couple months or weeks, I just thought that these large pieces should be documented. All right, so the first person is Carsten Holler. And in 2007, my wife and I, she works in publishing in art books. And so our Venn diagram of interests overlapped quite a bit. And we said, well, why don't we go to London and see this installation? So I'll just read a couple paragraphs or a couple sentences. Carson Holler is a German artist. He lives and works in Stockholm, Sweden. He came to prominence in the 1990s alongside a group of artists who worked across disciplines to reimagine the experience and the space of art. Now, that term space of art, I think, is very important, because the stereooptical technique can render the space of art. In his work, Holler creates situations which question familiar forms of perception and allow exhibition visitors to experiment on themselves, often inviting the public's active participation in so-called influential environments. So influential environments, that's showing that people are as much part of this piece as the artwork is. All right, well, let's go to the video. It's because I have some text on it. Okay. This last 10 seconds is misaligned, but I contributed it to Godard's End of Language movie. Okay, I hope that played and worked accordingly. I'm going to stop share. Tip. And is this all working?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we see.
I was able to view it.
It works. Great. This is my first time I've presented, so this is pretty exciting for me.
That's great.
Yeah, I uploaded that yesterday because I had to realign stuff, and I forgot to line the last 10 seconds. So that's why. And if you saw Godard's End of Language, you understand. Okay. So the next piece is Cara Walker. I have text in that too, but I'll read a couple paragraphs. Cara Walker, a native of Stockton, California. She is among the most complex and prolific American artists of her generation. She has gained national and international recognition for her cut paper silhouettes depicting historical narratives haunted by sexuality, violence, and subjugation. Walker has also used drawing, painting, text, shadow, puppetry, film, and sculpture to expose the ongoing psychological injury caused by the tragic legacy of slavery. Her work leads viewers to a critical understanding of the past, while also proposing an examination of contemporary racial and gender stereotypes. In 2014, which is this video is about, she produced her first site-specific sculpture, a subtlety, or the marvelous sugar baby, which was installed in a warehouse in a former Domino Sugar compound here in Brooklyn, which is right down the street. It's in Williamsburg. And I remember when it was still a functioning factory. The centerpiece was a monumental sphinx-like woman with caricatured features and an Aunt Jemima kerchief, which Walker fashioned from blocks of polystyrene coated with white sugar, which was attended by 13 molasses-coated colored boys made of either cash sugar or resin. Both witty and unsettling, the work reminds us that refined sugar, a luxury once used to make the table decorations known as subtleties, were harvested by slaves on Caribbean sugarcane plantations. This is a large piece. It's a very dark interior, but again, it's the people that are attending, which is fascinating too on this. And well, it speaks for itself. Also, this was a limited time. You could only go for so long. And we only got to go once. And the other ones I usually go a couple times, different times of day. So I really get a real balance or more perspectives. So this is pretty direct. Okay, I'm going to share screen.
Hey, Carlton.
Yes.
It looks like through the chat, people are requesting maybe for a second one to be shown in parallel.
Sure.
All right.
Full frame parallel. I shall do that. Share screen. Share sound, optimize video. Click on my screen. Cara Walker full side by side. And checking my value. 1080p, good. It went up to 1080p. I'm going to fill my screen. And I am now going to click play. This is full size, side by side, full color. And now. Is this working right? Is it working properly?
Yes.
Yeah, for me, yeah.
Because on my end, I have a column of images of the Zoom people.
That's the way you configure your own screen. It's dynamite. Keep going.
Okay, thank you.
Go right in.
Perfectly disturbing portrait of racism.
Okay. I actually see I had my mic on the whole time. Hope that didn't screw up the audio. Okay.
Great, thank you, Carlton. I didn't know if I was just gonna see if anyone had any questions, but I'm not sure if you had something else you wanted to add afterward, or do you want to just take questions?
No, this was number 15. Let's do questions. I think it's a shame that these things are not documented. There's a cachet about saying, oh, that's a monumental art piece, and I went and saw it, and you didn't. It's like, but there's also something about that cachet that you experience something that no one else could have. But with 3D, I think stereo optical kind of preserves it for future generations, because there is a value there, back to the landmark of experience in life. And I think it could even be built on by future artists. And still photos and still video, traditionally they do that, but these are in a different arena of experience, I think. So that's my spiel.
All right, just looking through some of the questions here. Is that large sculpture actually made of sugar?
It was polyurethane that was actually coated with sugar. And in the future, it would be fascinating to be able to document the creation of these pieces, and also the folding up of pieces. You know, disassembly is as fascinating.
How long ago was that?
The first one was 2007. Oh, by the way, if you can see, the first one was shot with these cameras. These are the Pentax 710s or A10s, and the second one's the Cara Walker was shot literally with these cameras. And if you notice, they're about the same size and they're 7 years apart. My criterion is the fact that you can carry these in a pocket and pull them out and shoot. It's not the quality of the camera that's the priority with what I do. And the quality of these cameras has profoundly changed. But as you can see, it's the size that's important. And people see you taking photos, but they're not like, oh, there's a video production here, I better do this or I better do that. They don't even know you're really there. And to me, that's an important aspect of this, that you are not documenting it. The people is just as important, I think, and what they do. I don't know if you noticed in the one of the scenes of the Kara, the guy was taking a photo and he tried to push his girlfriend to get closer, and she was clearly hesitant. And that to me adds to the whole experience of a piece.
I see a question here. Did you go down the slide and try to film?
Even though the cameras were small, the guard saw that I had something. So no, I couldn't. I had to give them to my wife. And I, like Vanessa, maybe I could animate something and make something digitally now and put it in a couple of years, and people would, I mean, we're getting to a point where we can do things like that. But no, I couldn't take a camera down that.
But you went down it?
3 times.
And it was fun?
Oh, if only I had a camera. It was fun to see the kids too. That's the last shot of that, was kids playing around it. And I like the fact that they had that sense of comfort that they could do that at a piece. Again, it's back to this experience thing, as opposed to this art piece thing.
Thank you so much, Carlton, for joining us and
Well, thank
sharing
you.
those.